You're listening to the Bulldog Insider Podcast, sponsored by Essentia Health.
Here, our hobbies become our work, and our work becomes our passion. But when joint pain or injuries keep us from doing what we love, it can affect our entire way of life. That's why we meet these challenges head on. Whatever your good day looks like, we'll find it together. This is Essentia Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, like nowhere else. Visit essentiahealth.org.
Hello and welcome to the Bulldog Insider Podcast, brought to you by Essentia Health. I'm Matt Wellens, the Bulldogs hockey beat writer at the Duluth News Tribune and the Rink Live.
And I'm Zach Schneider, the television voice of UMD hockey on My Nine Sports.
Zach, the 2022 Olympics are underway, or at least the two events that matter, I feel like most to those of us in Duluth. Mixed doubles curling got underway Wednesday morning, and the women's hockey tournament began Wednesday night. If you're listening to this podcast right away Thursday morning when it posts bright and early, you can actually turn on your TV right now. The United States women are taking on Finland, either on Peacock streaming service or I believe USA. Check your listings. They're all over the place. Disclosure, Zach and I are actually recording this on Monday this week because that's when our two guests are available. Joining us this week on the podcast is Bulldogs senior captain and U.S. Olympic men's hockey team winger, Noah Cates. We also have U.S. assistant men's hockey coach Brett Larson, the Duluth Denfeld graduate, former Bulldogs player and coach, and current head coach at St. Cloud State. Both of them joined us from Los Angeles on Monday prior to Team USA's departure to Beijing. The first game for the American men is next Thursday, February 10th. That's at 7:10 a.m. Duluth time versus the host China. Zach, your thoughts on this Olympics and what you're looking forward to the most?
Well, I think it's going to be fun, right? And I know that we have maybe some added interest because of the guys that, we know, Noah Cates, Brett Larson, getting a chance to go over there on the men's side. And then we've got 9 now after Linnea Hedin, unfortunately, had to withdraw from Team Sweden, 9 current or former UMD players on the women's side. And then, like you said, we got the curling as well with all those Duluthians and local guys and gals on the curling side as well. So, I mean, I think I always like it. And, I think you and I talked off camera about maybe 4 years ago when we were in, Kalamazoo. When
we were in Kalamazoo. UMD was on the road at Kalamazoo. Yep.
Yeah. So, I mean, that was a fun thing for you, me, and Bruce Siskey sitting in a hotel at, the early
2 a.m. I think
hours.
It was.
Yeah, whenever it was local time that they won the gold medal. And, obviously I think it's more fun. The Olympics are always great. And I love watching the Summer Olympics too, but the Winter Olympics with the connections that the Duluth and Northland and UMD seem to have had over the last couple Olympic games. Maddie Rooney, watching her and Sid Morin win a gold medal with the women's hockey team last Olympic Games was awesome. So I always look forward to this just because we've gotten to know Noah, we know Brett, we know the women's hockey players, we know the curlers and their stories, and it's a lot of fun to watch them on the world's biggest stage and to root for them, and it makes it even better when they have the success that they did 4 years ago. So hopefully this year's group can repeat that and bring home some medals.
Yeah, and I think the women officially, the tally they're going with is 12 players who at some point played on the Bulldogs.
Who are the other 3?
Well, Jessica Wong is back on Team China now after she was injured. I think they're actually in those 12 counting Linnea Hedin, who got replaced on Team Sweden because of COVID, and then one for Russia and one for Finland as well. And we're forgetting one very important friend of the podcast. Should actually be 13 for UMD women's hockey if they're including Linnea Hedin. Our old friend Nick Bryant, the greatest booker in the history of this podcast. He's also the director of hockey operations over there with Team USA. We should try and get him on here at some point.
Yeah, basically, no matter who wins the women's hockey tournament, one of the Bulldogs is coming home with a gold medal.
Yeah, I believe maybe Denmark and Japan might be the only teams without a Bulldog representative somewhere in the mix there. So, yeah, the women's tournament is crazy. There's Bulldogs all over there. Men's tournament, we just got Brett Larson and Noah Cates with Team USA, which makes it easy. We can pick a favorite of who we're rooting for on the men's side. The women's side, we're just happy whoever picks up that gold.
Yeah, I managed on one of our My Nine broadcasts a couple weeks ago. We were talking about Noah going to the Olympic Games, and I managed to trick Judd, who's Canadian, into saying that we'll be rooting for Noah when he goes overseas. And he kind of did a double take, and he goes, "Oh, no, I want him to win a silver medal." But for a second there, I got him to say that he wants the Team USA to win gold just because of Noah.
I'm gonna be impartial on the women's side. A lot of great people on a lot of variety of teams it's been fun to work with. Lara Stalder, Katarina Mrzova, the Czech and Swiss teams. I hope they do well out there. We're gonna have more women's. The next few weeks of this podcast are probably going to be Olympic themed. It's going to be Bulldog Olympic Insider here. We're going to see who we can get from over in Beijing. We're going to take a quick break here. When we come back, we'll have Noah Cates, and then we're also going to have Brett Larson. Both of them are still in LA. We caught them before they left off, took off for Beijing later this week. So you're listening to the Bulldog Insider podcast, brought to you by Essentia Health.
I'm McHatton.
I'm Jess Myers, and we are the co-hosts of the Rink Live podcast. We really pride ourselves on finding some unique guests and covering some of the topics of the day, not only in college hockey, but kind of across a broad spectrum.
Yep, we also talk junior hockey. We'll get some of that talk in there as well. Women's hockey, men's hockey. We try to talk to people from throughout the game and actually from all over the country. That's been one of the great things on Zoom.
And Mick and I are kind of OG, the Rink Live guys. We were here from the start, about 3 years ago now when things got off the ground, but we brought a fair amount of college hockey experience to this job. I went to Minnesota Duluth. I covered college hockey starting then when I was a student. I've covered the Frozen Four 28 times, and I primarily cover the Minnesota Gophers now for the Rink Live, but dabble in a little bit of everything.
And I've covered St. Cloud State hockey. Now this will be my 12th season. So please check us out on the Rink Live podcast on Mondays.
Welcome back to the Bulldog Insider podcast, brought to you by Essentia Health. I'm Matt Wellens, along with Zach Schneider. Joining us now from Los Angeles, it's Olympian Noah Cates. He's even got the Olympic swag on already. Welcome, Noah. Quick start off right now for everyone back in Minnesota. Brag about that great LA weather.
Yeah, it's been pretty good. A little sunshine, so it's been really nice to get some vitamin D and hang out outside by the pool a little bit.
Wow, a pool even and everything. The Olympics are already off to a good start for you. Noah, one thing I think we've all noticed since it was announced that you were joining the Olympic Team USA, you've been still really focused on your duties as captain of the Bulldogs. Pretty quickly after it was announced, you kind of put that behind you and continued your work as captain. Now that you're in LA with Team USA, about to get on that plane here soon and fly across the Pacific to Beijing, how does it feel? What's it like now to be Noah Cates, the Olympian?
Yeah, it feels pretty good. Feels really special just kind of being around all the guys and getting all the gear and whatnot. So there's a good energy around it, and we're excited to get over to China to see kind of the village and the rink and everything. So definitely shifting gears and kind of ready to go with Team USA now.
Was that a tough decision at all? I mean, obviously you've put in so much work into this UMD program, and to step away middle of your senior season with a team that hopefully is going to make another run deep into the NCAA tournament here. But when it's Team USA calling, asking you to be an Olympian, how many seconds did you have to wait before you said yes?
Yeah, obviously had to take the opportunity. Obviously my teammates and coaches were very, very supportive of me. Right away, it looked like it was only going to be 4 games. Now it's going to be 6 with the St. Cloud series. So some tough series to miss, playing St. Cloud, playing North Dakota at home would have been really fun. And obviously that Denver trip's really fun, but once in a lifetime opportunity to go to China, and I'm looking forward to heading over there.
You've played in the World Juniors before, winning silver with the U.S. in 2019. Like, does any of this at any moment feel like the World Juniors? Remind you of that, or can you already tell right away this is way bigger than that?
A little bit of both. You can tell it's bigger. You got some of those veteran guys and some older college guys, but definitely really like that there's some college guys, and makes you more comfortable for sure. But I think the tournament's going to have a little bit of that feel, just short tournament, and how we have to kind of come together as a team in a short amount of time. So I'm really looking forward to that and going to use that experience for sure.
Is it I mean, you're talking about some of the games you're going to miss. You're going to miss games against St. Cloud. You're going to miss games against North Dakota. Guys, you originally thought you'd be playing this month. Jake Sanderson, Perbix, and Hentish. They're now your teammates. Like, is that kind of fun to be playing with those guys instead of against those guys this month?
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, they're great players, and they're on good teams back in the NCHC. So I'm sure we'll have some bets going, but the NCHC is going to be a dogfight kind of coming to the end here. So we'll be watching for sure and cheering on our teams.
Do you have a plan as you go out to China? Are you just going to try and focus on the job that you're supposed to be doing out there, much like you did for the past couple of weeks here at UMD, and just try your best to stay focused there and try to come home with the gold medal? Or are you going to be scoreboard watching back as UMD goes through those games without you?
Yeah, I'll kind of have to figure out my phone situation and different things like that to see if I can keep up with the team and other family and friends. But obviously I'll be looking at those scores, but kind of got a busy couple days when we start playing with I think 3 games in 4 days, and then already into the elimination games. So it's going to go by quick when we're over there, but I'll be watching those games for sure.
For the World Juniors, you had a large, talented group of players that were coming together from across the country, about a week's time to prepare. There's really no time once these tournaments get underway. You mentioned 3 games in 4 days. I think once you include, you're likely playing 5 games in, I think, 7 days, and even more. The men's schedule is really compact because it was built for, the NHLers, trying to make it as short as possible for those guys. Not a lot of time to experiment or tinker or make major adjustments when you get out there, right? I mean, you guys just got to go out there and play and, execute, right?
Yeah, for sure. Like you said, kind of going back to the World Junior, there wasn't too many practices or too much time to change once we got going. So we had a meeting, I think we said we had 6 practices until our first game. So we got to work hard, make the most of them, and just make the most of every game and every situation, because you got to learn from everything.
Is that a player's dream? I mean, not only are you going to the Olympic Games, but also you're going out there basically just to play games and not practice too much. We always say players like to play, and you're going to get your chance here in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, maybe you want a little bit more practice, just feel totally comfortable with the team and everything. But I think we got a good group, and I think we just kind of need to get playing, and that's the best way to kind of learn and figure each other out, and just kind of learn different situations or whatnot. So maybe it would be nice to have a couple of games, or a couple more days of practice, but we're excited to get going.
One of the few times we'll hear a player say they would like more practices. Both Elizabeth Giguere and Clara Van Weeren were talking about it. They're looking forward to a few practices for the women this week, playing 3 games in 5 days. Noah, going back to your World Juniors experience, what is the key for this team with, just 6 practices before you hit the ice? What's the key to coming together as one cohesive unit?
Yeah, that's obviously such a big part of it, coming together, trusting each other, playing off each other, just different things like that. So you really kind of got to dial it in with your teammates, and guys just kind of got to stick to their roles and stick to how they play, and learn from each other from every shift. So there's got to be a lot of communication, I think, everywhere on and off the ice, for this kind of thing to go around, and for us to be successful.
What's your most memorable Olympic moment growing up, whether it's hockey or another Olympic sport? Maybe is there like one image that's always stuck in your mind?
Yeah, definitely the TJ Oshie in Sochi, but I would say the Zach Parise goal to tie it up against Canada in 2010. That was a pretty cool moment. Yeah, like I remember where I was, and kind of that whole day was really special. I remember a lot about that game.
Some quick hits to close it out. I was going to say mine is right now. It was Zach and I in a hotel room in Kalamazoo watching Schuster somehow win gold in curling. But Also, me being very quiet, try not to wake up my wife when Maddie Rooney made a stop 4 years ago in overtime as well. Quick hits again to close it off here, Noah. If you could get it, you're probably not going to get a day off there, unfortunately. But if you were lucky enough to get a day off to go watch any other Olympic sport or event, what would you go watch?
Ooh, probably one of the snowboarding, half pipe, or kind of one of those events where we're doing flips and whatnot. That's pretty cool, I think.
A fellow Olympian you would like to meet, non-hockey.
Shaun White.
Shaun White.
Yep.
Have any of your UMD teammates requested or roommates requested souvenirs from Beijing that you need to bring back for them?
Nothing quite from Beijing. I think they just want some of the apparel that we're gonna get, because we're gonna get a lot of it.
That there's guys lining up to take any of that apparel off your hands, huh?
Yep, for sure.
What are you bringing back, Jackson?
I'll get him a shirt or something.
Okay. What is the best piece of swag you've received so far?
I really like this little thing. But we're going down now at 6 o'clock, to get 2 huge bags worth of stuff and our polo rough stuff. So
the official Olympic uniform and stuff.
Yep.
The best thing you can bring back is a gold medal, Noah. So in 2018, when you won the title, I remember Sid Morin had her gold medal while you guys were passing around the national championship trophy. So hopefully that can be you come April.
For sure. That'd be awesome.
Noah, thanks a lot for joining us and making some time for us while you're in LA there. Good luck, and we're rooting for you, like Zach said.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
We're going to take another quick break. When we come back, we'll be joined by Team USA assistant coach Brett Larson. You're listening to the Bulldog Insider Podcast, brought to you by Essentia Health.
Hey there, my name is Samantha Urkala, and I'm the host of the Duluth News Tribune Minute Podcast. Hear the most important news of the day, including weather and sports, from Duluth, Minnesota, and from around the Northland. Join me and my fellow reporters as we take you through the local news you need to start your day. Episodes are released Monday through Friday and are available on Apple, Spotify, and wherever you get your podcasts. Thank you for supporting local journalism.
Welcome back to the Bulldog Insider Podcast, brought to you by Essentia Health. I'm Matt Wellens, along with Zach Schneider. Now joining us from Los Angeles, it's Olympic men's assistant hockey coach Brett Larson. Welcome, Brett. Thanks for doing this.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.
Is it fun to hear that attached to your name? I know we were talking to Noah. We're hesitant to get it there, before now, but now that you're with Team USA, is that fun to hear?
Yeah, it's amazing. When I got the call from Coach Quinn, invite me on the staff, literally when I hung up the phone, I was almost, I don't know how to describe it. I was just in awe, really. And it's really exciting and really just a huge honor. So very, very, very excited to be a part of it.
What made you want? Is it just that honor? Is that what made you jump on this right away? Was there much thought? What all went into this decision?
Well, obviously I had to check with the AD at Heather Weems just to make sure we could get approval from her. But immediately from her, it wasn't hard. I mean, to be honest, it's a once in a lifetime opportunity. It's the Olympics, and just to be a part of the Olympics and represent our country, you just can't turn that down.
What's that conversation like with the guys at St. Cloud State, Brett, for a coach in particular? We talked with Noah. He said he talked to all the guys who were super supportive of him going over there at UMD. But for a coach to step away, at an important time for your program when you're hopefully going to be competing for a good spot in the NCAA tournament, maybe an NCHC title. What was that conversation like with the guys saying, you get your work done here and I'll join you again in March?
I was wondering how it would go, and I wanted the team to hear it from me first, not from anybody else. So I brought the team in the locker room and told them. And when the guys jumped up and started cheering, I knew I made the right move. I mean, it's as an athlete or as a coach, these opportunities don't come along every day to represent your country in the Olympics. It's an amazing opportunity that any coach or any player would want to be a part of. So, the players understand, the coaches understand, the people at St. Cloud State understand. There's just really a lot of excitement in the room and a lot of hugs from the guys. And it was fun to be able to tell them.
They've dealt with this on the women's side of things for years now, where, the best players in the country leave during the Olympic year to go represent their countries. But now we're seeing it on the men's side. But to bring in two players with you in Henches and Perbix. Obviously, the three of you leave a pretty big hole on St. Cloud State's roster for the 6 games that you're going to be gone for. But how cool is it that you get to bring two guys that you've been coaching overseas with you?
That's awesome. I mean, they let me make the phone call to those two to tell them they had made it. And that was certainly a special call for me to hear the excitement in their voice. And in all honesty, you know what, now thinking of the team at home, it's an opportunity for guys to step up. It's an opportunity for the team to grow closer, for each guy to bring a little bit more from the coaching staff to the team. I think it can be as challenging as it's going to be with our schedule. It's an opportunity for the team to keep getting better and grow. And I know they're excited about that. They're going to play a lot of games while we're gone. It's supposed to be 4. Now it's going to be 8. So it's an opportunity that, you know, we always talk about the next man up mentality. And that's what it is. You know, our coaching staff's going to be able to step up. Our players are going to be able to step up. And I'm hoping and I believe that it can help the team get better.
Brett, what's your most memorable Olympic moment growing up, whether it's hockey or another sport? I believe you were around 8 years old in 1980. Yep. So maybe this is an easy question. Maybe you don't remember it then as an 8-year-old.
You know, what's funny is that for sure. And I do remember sitting in the car, listening on the radio for some reason with my parents. I don't know why we were doing that, but I do remember that. You know, I also remember a pretty special moment, I thought, for a buddy of mine, Brett Hauer, when Brett got to play in the Olympics after we played together at UMD. And I remember all the guys watching the games and how excited everybody was for him. You know, and that's the thing, going back to being an athlete or a coach, there's really no hesitation. You're just excited for the people that are going. And I remember us feeling that same way for Brett when he got to play in it.
As a coaching staff, how do you attack a tournament like this? Is it similar in any way to the World Juniors?
It is, because it's a short time frame. You're bringing a team together. I mean, we'll have 6 to 7 full practices before we play an exhibition. That's not a ton of time. So, you know, obviously some of the most important parts are the selection process that's taken place the last month of trying to make sure you're picking the best team you can pick with the right pieces and the right guys. That's a huge part of it. And then you have such a short time to prepare that you got to keep things fairly simple. And you know, people have been through this a lot, whether, you know, Coach Quinn's been through it in a lot of different tournaments, but there is a formula to it. You got to get guys together and on board real quick, and you got to do it in a short time.
We got Noah Cates a player to admit that he wants more practice time in a tournament like this, Brett, which I think is a pretty rare thing. Coaches probably always want more practice time so they can prepare, but you know, how efficient do you have to be in your meetings, your time on the ice, or how much do you just rely on the guys that you've selected to go out there and be who they are, not worry so much about the systems that they're running and just let them go play hockey?
Well, there is an increased workload for the coaches for sure, because you have to be very efficient. You have to have more meetings. You have to teach more through video than you normally do. You don't get as much time on the ice, but you know, we're in a hotel all day where we can take advantage of that time to work on things on video or dry board or whatever it might be. So planning the meetings, being efficient, making sure that you're getting to your priorities on the ice, and then maybe having to do some more video-based teaching on the things that may be a little farther down the totem pole. I think that's that efficient piece and making sure you have your priorities set is what's really important, because you just don't have any time to waste.
Brett, all these teams, Team USA, Canada, all these teams came together in a pretty short time span because of with the NHL making their decision and deciding to pull out. A lot of countries, I think, we're going to grab NHL players. How much scouting do you guys do of other teams and stuff in this tournament? Or is this an instance where you really solely focus on your team and what they can do at this level?
Yeah, it just grows as the tournament goes on, as far as pre-scouting, your next opponent, whatnot. Early, it's really about you a lot. And then the percentage just kind of, you know, as you go, you're able to watch the other teams play in the tournament. You're able to get a feel for them. You're able to get video on them. Now the pre-scout preparation grows a little bit each game as you get to see the teams play.
You mentioned 1980, Brett, which is obviously the most famous year when the U.S. used non-professional athletes in the Olympic Games. And obviously other countries won't get the NHL players that they would have had as well. But how good is this for college hockey? I think we've all been pretty excited over the last 3 to 4 weeks to, you know, we don't get to see the NHL players, maybe the world's best players, but we do get to see the best of college hockey over there. And that's going to be pretty fun for those of us in this world.
Exactly. And you know what? Maybe they're not today's NHL players, but a lot of them are going to be tomorrow's NHL players. And they're going to be they're guys that are on the way up. And I think it's fun because you've got this young, hungry group of guys that are really excited to be a part of this. And Coach Quinn's trying to put a team together that's going to play fast, going to play hard, going to play with a ton of energy. And these are the right guys to do that. You got college guys that are used to playing that way every weekend. You know, every weekend in college hockey almost feels like a playoff weekend, and you have to play that way. So I think it's really exciting to have these guys here. I think they're going to bring that kind of, you know, that energy and that life, the young legs, guys getting after it, guys excited to get after it. And I know everyone's excited about the group that's here.
4 years ago, this was a much older team that USA Hockey took to the Olympics when they weren't using NHL players. As Zach said, this is a college heavy team, and you do have some older guys on there, guys that I covered with, well, guys that basically went to college with me. They're not that old, but you know, it's a different mix this time, definitely compared to last time. Is that a strategic advantage? Is that something, like, are you guys thinking back to the World Juniors, how those kids are able to handle that tight schedule and maybe some younger players with a good mix of the right veterans that can give you, you know, a better edge in this tournament when you're playing 3 games in 4 days, 5 games in 7 days? This is an intense schedule.
No, it really is. And that's obviously the thought process. You're always trying to learn from the past and learn from how things were done before, and having a mix of some older veterans in that could lead and had been through things like this, and then bringing in a lot of life and energy with the young guys. It's certainly by design, and we're hoping it's the right formula.
All right, some quick hits because we know you're busy. You're probably not going to get any time off over there, but if you somehow found yourself with a day off at the Olympics, what sport are you going to watch on your day off?
Right off the top of my head, ski jumping. I kind of like that. I think I'd like to see it in person, how it really looks when they're coming off that thing. And who knows, maybe we'll get a day to be able to go do that. But I've always kind of wanted to see that in person. Would you try ski jumping? No chance. I had my hip replaced last year, Matt. I don't need to replace the other one too. An Olympian non-hockey that you'd like to meet? Oh boy, that's a tough one. I've just been so focused, obviously, on the college hockey season and on the Olympic hockey. I can't even come up with one off the top of my head, Matt. Do the kids have a long list of souvenirs they'd like back? That's what I was gonna say. They don't have a list of athletes. They have a list of the gifts they want me to bring back. So that's the question I get. Dad, what are you bringing home for me? You know, so they're really excited. It's unfortunate the families don't get to go this year, but they're excited to watch it, and they're excited to see what I bring home for them. Hopefully a gold medal. Hopefully. Brett, thank you so much for the time. Good luck over there in Beijing. Also, we're glad you're getting a little warm weather break here in LA before you guys head over there as well. Yeah, I just went for an hour walk outside. That felt pretty good. Just got a little air out here in LA. We'll be on that plane to Beijing in about another day. So looking forward to it. Thanks a lot, Brett. All right.
Thanks Brett.
Guys.
Good luck.
Thanks. Thanks a lot to Brett Larson for joining us, as well as Noah Cates. We wish them both the best of luck at the Olympics, and we really appreciate the time that they took out of their Monday evening to talk to us, as it's a really busy time for those guys. Like we said, going to have more from the 2022 Olympics in Beijing here on the Bulldog Insider podcast. It comes out every Thursday, and you can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Subscribe and rate us. For more Bulldogs hockey coverage, visit therinklive.com and DuluthNewsTribune.com. Big thanks to our sponsor, Essentia Health, for their continued support of the Bulldog Insider podcast. We'll be back next week. Thanks for listening.